How's it going, everybody? Very exciting. It's a great day today. Um, Finally seeing some things open back up. Our church opened back up today, which was like, I don't know, feels like a monumental step forward. Uh, it was sure great to be back together, worshiping together again. But yeah, if this is your first time here, takes just a couple seconds, get some people on here. I'm going to share this as well. So if you can bear with me for 1 second. I want to have a conversation tonight about where do we go from here. We have very specific goals on this channel, and been trying to just be wise about how fast to move forward. But man, it sure seems like right now we could begin to move forward, and so want to just discuss that with you guys. What do you think are some logical next steps to continue to make Kittanning a better place to live, or maybe just small town America if we expand the conversation? I know some of you aren't necessarily in Kittanning or even Armstrong County, but I'm very obviously interested in Kittanning's future. But a lot of those things still apply in just about every other small town in the Rust Belt, certainly. And Western Pennsylvania has a lot of places that are extraordinarily similar to Kittanning. Um, Obviously not as great because Kittanning's the greatest city in the world, but you know what I mean. Okay, 1 second here. Okay. All right, I got that posted. So yeah, I don't know who was all here tonight. If you're here, let me know. Oh, looks like, okay, Meatloaf's here, Randall's here, Lucas is in the house, Connie's here, Kelly's here, DCB 73's here. All right. So, first comment of substance here. DCB says Snyders need to allow more into the county. I've heard that before, that they have blocked things in the past. I don't know how actively they're blocking things now. I'm actually, Mr. Snyder is becoming someone that I'm more acquainted with. I think I'm close enough with him now that I could request a meeting at this point if I wanted to. And I do have a couple projects that I was going to run by him because they would involve things that he would be interested in. But yeah, I don't know how true that is though. I know a lot of people have said that. I know they own an extraordinary amount of land in the county, but I'm not sure at this point what they're actively holding back. The reason I say that is because a lot of these corporations don't seem to be holding back from our area necessarily because of, not being able to find a place or not being able to find land or, whatever. What seems to hold them back is demographics. If you're an area of our size, it's difficult for a company to say, yeah, we want to invest in that area because the population is shrinking. We're probably on the cusp for a lot of companies to say, well, maybe we would go there if the population was increasing. But if the population is shrinking, man, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to these large corporate types. They look at Kittanning on paper and say, yeah, no, that's not for us. Now, all of a sudden, I look at the Armstrong Trail still as the greatest hope that we have for an economic driver. Obviously, we have greater hopes than that from a spiritual standpoint. But from an economic standpoint, I think the trail is still the future. And then you could make an argument with these companies and say, hey, there are 20,000 people in the area, which is maybe not enough for you. But look, here, 6 months out of the year, we're going to have 500,000 people coming through that are going to be looking for a place to stay, and be looking for a place to eat, looking for a place to whatever. And so So yeah. But if you have like some kind of knowledge that the Snyders are holding something back, I'd be very curious to know. Whether you want to announce it on here or not, that's okay. But if you'd rather private message me, that'd be cool too. Because I'm interested at this point to start pushing on a couple different things, and if we needed to push on someone like that, or certainly the school board as well, desperately needs to approve a. They desperately need to approve the land bank. That's the only entity that's holding it back. And what the land bank would do is be able to purchase vacant properties, and then they could either tear down the house and sell the property, or they can, get it to someone that's going to fix it up. So, someone like Habitat for Humanity. There's a lot of different places that have taxes on them. Like we looked at a house as a church, and there was $20,000 in back taxes on this house. The house is worth literally $1,000. It's a dump. Yeah, there's no redeeming qualities about it. And so I was looking at buying it, potentially tearing it down, making a parking lot at the old church. We were looking at that. Now, it doesn't make any sense that that house is going to sit there vacant, continue to deteriorate, and will ultimately ruin not only it, but it'll ruin the house next to it, and then the house next to it, and it'll be blight that spreads across the community, which will not only deteriorate the tax base of that one house, but deteriorates the tax base of all the houses around it. So it makes no sense at all to leave those on the market in hopes that somehow you're going to collect the $20,000 in taxes, which you will never, ever, ever do, because nobody is going to do it. Nobody will purchase it. And so the school board is shooting themselves in the foot by not doing that. And it's costing every taxpayer money because of it. So they need to, they need to step up and approve that like right away. Let's see. Meatloaf says, I've been going to people and saying, I like your face all day. Family is very confused. That's a very nice thing to do. Very proud of you. Melissa says, how are you doing? I'm doing really great. The church opened today, which was exciting for me, and I know for the people that were there. We had all kind of technical difficulties, though, which was which is not fun. And then if I'm honest, I wasn't super happy with my sermon either. Not necessarily the content, but the delivery. I didn't think it was not my best. So those are never fun because just is what it is. But I was distracted by the technical difficulties. I don't know why I let that get to me, but I did today. So, but anyway. DCB says, I heard Walmart had to get their permission to expand to a supercenter. That could be. I have heard that the whole mall area up there was like a fight with them to get that approved. I don't know how true that is, but I've heard that. I've heard that kind of stuff before. I just don't know. I don't understand it. Why would that be the case? Summer says, I think demolition on old rundown houses would make the neighborhood look better. Could be good training for the fire department. Absolutely. And you have one close to you, Connie, that is in desperate need of tearing down. Hopefully that's going to happen soon. But your block also is like one of the most improved blocks, I think, in the entire borough. It's really on the upswing. And there's several other houses that I see being worked on that block. And it's very exciting. So, I feel like you're right in the midst of the hopefully coming revolution. My neck moves when I talk. What's that mean? How does it move? What part moves? It's just my face. Summer wants a Sonic restaurant. That would be cool. Funny story. One of my wife and I's first dates was to Sonic, and I was like, well, we're both really, well, if we say frugal, that makes it sound better. but it's yeah, we're cheap. We're really cheap. So I had all these coupons to Sonic, and we went there, and it was right after a Sonic opened in Greensburg, so the coupons were like killer because they were just trying to get people to go and try it because no one had ever even most of the people I knew had never been to a Sonic because it was mostly a Southern thing. But we went and we got so much food. Oh my goodness! I bet it was $50 worth of food at Sonic, which is like just marginally more expensive than McDonald's. And it was only two of us. There was like so many burgers and chicken and like drinks and ice cream. It was awesome. It was just a great date. Melissa says, "Don't beat yourself up." Yeah, I'm not beating myself up about it. I just know that whenever I leave something on the table, it frustrates me. But I won't beat myself up. There's always another week. So Milo says, "Not your face, like your. What are you talking? Like my Adam's apple? What do you? I don't know what you mean." We need a pedicab. Is that the ones that like you pedal around? Um, what do they call it? Not like a not like a rickshaw, but one with the pedals on it. Okay, pedal cab. Yeah. Okay. Um, yeah, the rickshaw is like in the front, like you carry it, right? You have to run. Probably a little less practical in our area. All right. So anyway, back to the conversation. So where do we go from here, you guys? Like for example, summer serve. Summer serve is an outdoor activity, very low chance of virus transmission. Um, like we can go full on summer serve, can we not? Um, it's just a matter of can we line up the projects now in time. I know I have some things on my list to do, anyways. But the other thing I was considering was doing a little bit lighter of summer serve and do um, bigger projects, but do every other week. And so we'd have maybe 7 summer serve events, and they would be like double the size of a normal summer serve event. If you think about in the past, we would do things like yard cutting day. And so on yard cutting day, there's when I drive around Kittanning right now, I don't see that many yards. I don't see any yards. Even the yard that we cut for 6 years, 5 years, that one was cut last time I went by it. And so I'm like, well, if we don't need to do that, that eliminates an entire week. And certainly if we did need to cut grass, it doesn't require the full crew for a full day like it used to. And so we could take those weekends and do some kind of bigger project and try to do multiple painting projects in the same day. So if we had a crew that was always prepping ahead and then a crew that was painting, we could get a lot more done in that way and then maybe not burn myself out, give me some more time at home, more time to work on my own yard and my own projects, and then still get the same amount of stuff done. The other thing that's really exciting is Habitat for Humanity is like they're close to securing Woods Work, which is a large church that comes from Maryland, and they would bring between 80 and 100 volunteers, and they would be working for the whole week. And from the sounds of it, they normally would build houses, but from the sounds of it, they'd be working on summer reserve style projects. And so that's incredibly exciting because if we could get them, we could make more improvement in a week than we would make in an entire summer. And so it would double what we could do otherwise. So I don't know. Is anyone like you guys good for that kind of stuff? I know Kevin, we've talked a little bit. Oh, Kevin says, I'm free all week after 10 a.m. if you want me to knock on doors. Yes. I think we need to do that so we could line up some projects, at least the ones along the trail that we talked about. And if we could line up even 10 projects. I think that's enough to make a big difference in the summer. And then if we could find a community garden space, we could work on that as well. I don't think we're going to be able to plant necessarily a garden. Maybe a fall garden we could get in. But the community garden, if we could just spend the whole summer prepping it, man, we could be all set for next year. Meatloaf said, "So like with all the difficulties, did it still go well today?" It did go well. It was so great to worship together. That was the whole day, honestly. If you guys have a chance, go look up the song "Rattle" by Elevation Church. We Our worship leader Kim sent that out, and it's just a good song, really really fun, and we sang that today, and it's about like in Ezekiel, it talks about the dry bones coming back to life, and so it's a timely song because it's kind of the picture of our society, like everything's kind of dead right now, and then we're like breathing life back into it. And so today was very life giving for me, and hopefully for everyone else that was there. But Tim's in the house. Good to have you, Tim. Hope you're doing well in the great state of Colorado. I am actually getting ready to get off of here, though. I have several other things to do. I'm trying to edit the church service tonight, and then I'm so far behind on editing for this vlog. I have, I think, 4 or 5 videos in the hopper, so I have to get some of that kind of stuff done. But I appreciate you guys. If you have any more thoughts on what to do this summer, I think it's like full speed ahead at this point. But if you have any reservations, I would be interested to hear what your thoughts are in the comments, or if you have any projects that you think would be good for this kind of season in Kittanning. That'd be very helpful for me as well as we begin to plan and figure out how we're going to move forward to bless the city, and not only Kittanning, I guess, but Ford City as well. We have a group of volunteers in Ford City, along with New Life Center, that is interested in doing summer serve projects too. So if you know of anything in Armstrong County, we could probably find some helpers for it at this point. That wasn't always the case, but I think we're getting there. Sandy says, beside technical difficulties, everything went great. I was so pumped, so happy to be with my family this morning. Yes, that is my feeling as well. I really enjoyed the day. The other cool thing was we had a wedding today in the church too. So although it made my day a little bit longer, such a blessing. So Devaney and Ray got married today, and just 2 really nice people, new people as far as being connected to the church, and just very very happy for them too. During this time, they weren't sure if they were going to get their marriage certificate in time, if we were going to be in the yellow phase in time, but their marriage certificate literally arrived, I think, 3 days before they were getting married, and we went to the yellow phase 2 days before they were getting married. So it was worked out just perfect for them. So I'm just so happy for them for today. Okay. All right, guys. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, and I'll see you next Sunday. And there will certainly be vlogs up before then, so see you in the next one.